Hello and welcome back to another video. In the last video we went over transitions where we experimented with first scene and second scene, and if you don't remember you go to your project TS or JS file, and where it says make project scenes you need first scene, second scene, and that can be listed in here. So we have our first scene, which was just it said first scene, wait for 1 second, and then in your second scene you have your transition. So it does the first scene followed by the second scene, does some sort of transition, you'll wait for it, and then the second scene just converts it back to first scene. I can remove this and then you can actually see the full transition. First scene, second scene. It takes 3 seconds to do the transition. Wait for 4/10 of a second. So, in this video, we're going to be going over the camera. So, not only can we manipulate things, move things around, but we can also move the camera if we need to. So if we wanted to look at the code as well, and let's take project, let's remove the second scene, and go to the first scene. We can copy all of this, and let's take a look at what it is. So if I play this, we start to spiral in and in and in and in and in and move it around and put the grid on. Does anything change? Not really. Okay. So Motion Canvas ships with a simple orthographic camera that allows you to pan, zoom, rotate the viewpoint of a scene without having to transform the individual objects in your scene. The quickest way to get started is to wrap your scene with a camera component and grab a reference to it. So create ref of type camera. We have a camera object. So this is what it means by, this is a React fragment. This right here is your camera. This is actually an unneeded fragment, so we can get rid of this. And you'll see it will still work. And then we have our camera from up here. And then we're creating a reference, tagging it with the reference, or connecting it the reference of our variable camera. And then we can do camera center on rectangle. So we have our rectangle object that we have in that reference on. So if we start from the very beginning, we're centering on the rectangle, doing a rotation, doing a zoom, and then 2 seconds we want to center on the circle, and then reset. This reset is one I believe is default. But let's take a look. So we can wrap the object with a camera component and grab a reference to it. You can then use the camera reference to manipulate the camera in your screen. By default, the camera component is completely passed through. It won't have any visible effect on the scene until you start animating it. Okay. There are 2 ways of moving the camera. You can either directly use the camera's positioning signal like you would for any other component, which is what you would see here. This would be a very similar position, or similar thing. Alternately, you can specify a position or object with center on method. If you directly pass an object to center on, the camera will center to the object's position. So I'm sure if the object is actually moving as well, the camera would move with it. It's an idea. Or we can just say, hey, move the camera to this exact location. So there's two different ways of doing it. You can also directly pass this to center on. In this case, the camera will be centered on the specific position in the world space. Okay, so this would be center on. So we have a position. So it looks like center on given a position and position with a position will do the exact same thing. Zooming, you can zoom in, zoom out, and then reset the zoom. Okay. You should not manipulate the scale property of the camera directly. This is because the camera component does not additionally work internally to make the animating the zoom level of the camera to work properly when combined with other camera animations. Okay, so there is a scale property that we don't want to touch. You can also do the to method to chain things. Personally, right now, I like to be more explicit, so that's what you'll see me do. I think it makes things a little bit easier to understand as a newcomer. Rotating the camera. Okay, so now we're rotating the camera to here, then to there. Note this uses the camera's current position as the center of rotation. Okay. You're seeing the camera. To reset the zoom levels, rotation, everything, you can use the reset method. This reset 1 resets it to 0, 0, zoom 1, and rotation 1. Moving along a path. That would be interesting. By using follow curve method, this method accepts any object that extends the curve class. Many of the shapes that come with motion canvas, such as rectangle, circle, polygon, and spine, extend the curve class and can be used. So I can actually follow the edge of a rectangle. Note that the path doesn't have to be visible or even part of the screen. This is only done for demonstration purposes. Okay. So camera follow path, 2.5 seconds, and it's going to be linear type, I believe. Yeah, or linear following. That just means constant speed, I believe. Using multiple cameras in a scene, Motion Canvas also provides a way to render the same scene to multiple cameras. This can be useful for creating split screen views or for rendering the same scene from different perspectives. This is going to be interesting. First, instead of adding the scene we want to render directly to the view, we instead want to store it as a variable. Okay. So if I take it and I put it here, I need to add node. I don't remember if node is, which one node is, but let's try that one. No. Okay, let's try node from up here. No. Duplicate identifier. Okay, so node is from 2D. So there's scene. Camera 1, camera 2. We can get rid of these cameras. And then we can say add And then we're still trying to do stuff there. So camera.stage, camera, blah, 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 blah. Let's get rid of all that. And let's see what happens. Okay, so we have two different cameras. So we have two different scenes. Or it's the same scene. So it's just the same thing. The camera ref property, which is right here, provides a reference to the stage's camera. You can then use the reference to manipulate each camera independently. It requires a single top-level node as its scene prop. Okay, a common source of error is using a fragment when defining the scene. So the following scene will cause an error when passed to camera.stage. Okay. Unlike the camera component, camera stage requires an explicit size to be set. The stage will automatically clip the scenes to the specific size. Okay, so we have our node, rectangle. We have, I think this is the same example actually. Yeah, it is. Then we have our two different stages. This has camera ref, scene, size, position. So we're missing fill, radius, and smooth corners. Let's not worry about that right now. And if I just copy this example, let's see what happens. So we're missing our rec references and all that fun stuff. Oh, I can cut from there. I did not know that. Okay, so if I now run this, okay. If I want to change the background to something else, okay. Let's change it red background. Okay, let's see what fill does then. Okay, so this is actually what's changing. So if I change this back to black, I modify the zoom 50, 25. Nope. Let's go 100. Oh, that's cool. It's the same exact scene. And I'm sure if I manipulate the rectangle, let's do that actually. Let's see. How do we do that again? Ref. There it is. Rectangle. We're not actually... Okay. It was the same thing, except it misses the ref for reference. Oh, it's doing exactly what I wanted to do anyway. So let's just continue through. The method of doing this is simply compared to rendering the same scene twice, is that any changes made to the scene will reflect in both cameras. And then here, okay, this is exactly what I was trying to do. It changes the rectangle to light sea green and the circle to hot pink. And you can see the different changes happening at the same time. That is fascinating. And that's it. So thank you for coming through with this journey to learn cameras with me. If you have any questions, leave the comment down below. I will answer them. And Next time we're going to go with logging. Logging's super important, so I'm curious to see how they have their stuff set up. Until then, I'll catch you later. Have a great day.